In Alaminos Pangasinan, the Mendez family were known as hard-working peasants. They had 7 children, including Nanita, who had been in a relationship with a tricycle driver named Rolly Pagador for 2 years. Rolly wasn't just a boyfriend. He was treated like a son. He had an open invitation to their home, even at 2 a.m. But on October 12, 1996, that trust was shattered in the most gruesome way possible. A night that began with silence ended in screams, blood, and a betrayal so deep it would reach the Supreme Court. Today, we're looking at People versus Rolly Pagador. At 1 a.m., the Mendez sisters were jolted awake by their mother's cries. Aray ko, aray ko. They rushed to their parents' room, expecting a medical emergency. Instead, they found a nightmare. In the dim light of a kerosene lamp, they saw Rolly Pagador. He was on his knees, gripping a bolo with both hands, repeatedly stabbing their mother, Magdalena. Their father, Hermenegildo, was already motionless on the floor. Their 10-year-old sister, Shirley, was clutching her stomach as her intestines began to protrude from a massive wound. When the sisters tried to help, Rolly swung his bolo like a man possessed. Emily lost a finger. Nanita and Josephine jumped out of windows to save their lives. But Rosalinda wasn't so lucky. Rolly chased her, sat on her stomach, and hacked at her face. To survive, Rosalinda did the only thing she could. She played dead. Rolly stood up and vanished into the night. When Rolly was caught, his story was wildly different. He claimed self-defense. He told the court that Hermenegildo was angry because he wanted Nanita to marry a seaman instead. Rolly claimed the father attacked him with a bolo, accidentally hit his own wife, and that Rolly only killed Hermenegildo after wrestling the weapon away. But here is the problem with that story. Rolly didn't have a single scratch on him. Not one. The court found it impossible that a man could survive a vicious struggle against an armed man and 4 angry women without even a bruise. The trial court initially sentenced Rolly to death for 2 counts of murder. But the Supreme Court, on automatic review, had to apply the Revised Penal Code (RPC) strictly. 1. The killing of Hermenegildo, the father. No one actually saw the start of the fight between Rolly and the father. Under Article 14, treachery cannot be presumed, because there was no witness to prove Rolly used a sudden or sneaky method to kill the father. The court downgraded this from murder to homicide under Article 249. 2. The killing of Magdalena mother. This was different. Witnesses saw Rolly stabbing her while she was defenseless, protecting her child. This is treachery art. 14. Par. 16. The court upheld this as murder under Article 248, since there were no other aggravating circumstances. The penalty was changed from death to reclusion perpetua 20 to 40 years. Rolly was also charged with 3 counts of frustrated murder, but the Supreme Court clarified what constitutes intent to kill. Rosalinda, the sister who played dead. Rolly performed all acts to kill her and only stopped because he thought she was a corpse. This remained frustrated murder. Shirley, the 10-year-old, While her wounds were horrific, her intestines were literally coming out. The court ruled that intent to kill was unclearly proven. It was more likely she was hit during the chaotic struggle. Under Article 265, this was downgraded to less serious physical injuries. Emily, the sister who lost a finger, the court ruled Rowley swung the bolo just to drive her away, not to kill her. Under Article 263, this became serious physical injuries because she lost a body part, her finger. The court's rationale was a lesson for all judges. Decisions must be based on the specific facts and the specific intent for each victim. You cannot just use a blanket conviction. Rowley's motive, likely fierce jealousy. But as the court noted, intense love can evoke not only the most noble of sentiments, but also the basest of man's passions. The final penalty, homicide father, 8 to 17 years. Murder mother, reclusion, perpetua.
Rowley Pagador will spend the rest of his life behind bars.